by law, at the age of 21, every citizen had to fill out a marriage application. Then, voila. The regime chose your spouse and you were married for life. Divorce was no longer allowed. Their host, Zimmerman, bounced on his heels as he approached Sahara. She took in his appearance, not knowing what to think. His silver blonde hair was pulled back in a ponytail. He wore similar shades to the enforcement, but his were slightly thinner. His black suit looked like it cost the monthly income of someone in the almost non-existent middle class. Showing his immaculate white teeth, he clasped his hands together. "Miss Fenty, aren't you a beauty? I'll be your Temptation Trials host for the duration of the show. I will be traveling back and forth among the 3 islands, hosting the episodes." Sahara nodded. "Follow me to my office." Once inside, he directed her to have a seat in a plush chair across from his huge wooden desk. An enforcer walked over to stand in the corner of the room. Sahara swallowed hard, spotting a cameraman prepared to record their discussion. Plopping down in his large leather chair, Zimmerman began. "This is an interview used as an intro into episode 1.
"What will you be asking me?"
Sahara wondered. "That's a good question." Zimmerman's smile widened. "Just standard stuff, similar to your answers in the trials application." Sahara cringed, recalling filling out her trials app for the show. Those questions were gruesome. They claimed that the app sought personal criteria to match your compatibility, but as the application went on, the questions got very intimate.
"What do these questions pertain to?"
"Look at it as a way for the nation to get to know you."
"I thought I was here for the guys to get to know me."
Since Zimmerman wore sunglasses, it was hard to be sure, but Sahara swore that he was smirking at her. "That's true, but since the nation is watching, we'd like for them to get to know you too."
"Are these yes or no questions?"
"The questions will allow you to explain your answers."
"Great. This sounds like more probing,"
Sahara thought, wishing that she could get out of this. "Well now, let's begin. The first one is for general character. How would you describe yourself in 1 word?
"Only 1 word?"
Sahara shifted in her seat. Zimmerman nodded.
I would say determined."
He chuckled, but Sahara didn't see what was amusing. Determined about successes in life or fulfilling your dreams?
"Both."
Zimmerman clasped his hands together. Then he lifted his small black electronic tablet. "Let's get into the more intriguing questions. If you married your soulmate and your spouse died, do you believe that you could ever fall in love again?" He leaned back in his chair, waiting for a reply.
"Well, that's kinda hard to say. I don't believe in soulmates."
He raised his platinum eyebrows. "Really? Well, enlighten us." Sahara sighed, not wanting to go into details and not being sure if true love existed.
"Is love real if it can be ripped away from you so easily?"
pondered Sahara.
"I don't know enough on this subject to speak honestly."
Sahara said instead, "We'll let you throw in the towel on it for now." Zimmerman glanced at his electronic tablet, then back at her. "Do you believe that you can be in love with 2 people at the same time?" Hell, she wasn't sold on the idea of love at all, let alone loving 2 people at once.
"Nope, I don't."
Next question. What sin do you think is worse, envy or greed?
"I guess it would depend on the extent of someone's envy or greed. If a person was envious and wanted revenge, that could be disastrous. Or if someone was greedy enough to commit robbery or steal, that could also end in catastrophe."
A point well made. Do you believe that 21 is too young for marriage?
"Yes."
Do you believe in giving a person a second chance if they make a mistake?
"It depends on what they've done."
Taking a quick glimpse at his tablet, Zimmerman asked, "This is an interesting one. If you had to choose 1 child was burned alive or 3 adults were stabbed to death, which situation would you choose? Saving the 1 child's life or the 3 adults?" This was some sick query shit. What would her answer prove? Would the nation judge her by her reply?
"That's difficult to answer."
Well, try.
I'm not sure I can.
Zimmerman scratched his temple. That's a shame. The more questions you answer honestly, the better chance of the public getting to know you. It may even help for when you return. I have heard you've had a rough time lately. It took a moment for Sahara to register what he was saying, and then her mouth dropped open. The bastard was trying to throw the past in her face. Taking a deep breath, she replied,
I would say that all human life is equal, but in that case, I would choose to save the baby from burning.
So you would choose to save one life over 3?
The 3 adults have already lived. The baby's life has just begun. So, yes, in that scenario, I would.
Interesting take on the situation. Sahara narrowed her eyes.
Will that be all?
She'd cooperated, and now she wanted to leave. She had just met the man, and he'd already shown that he didn't play nice. That's all for now, Miss Fenty. I'll see you soon, when it's time for the tempting to begin. Sahara shook her head as she left the office. She was in for a tidal wave of drama if this man was any indication of what the trials held.